the Oregonians made it very, very clear right up front. Democrat Janelle Bynum says she'll work in Congress to make Oregon a better place for the next generation, because in so many ways, all the conversation that we've had this morning, Alicia, really has touched on the next generation, how this government, this incoming government, is setting up the nation, in my view, for failure, which will have a direct impact on how the future is governed by the young men and women that you want to represent and will represent in Oregon.
Yeah, last night I was at the Ducks game and I was standing there waiting for my friends. And one young lady comes up to me and she's like, "Are you Janelle Bynum?" She was about 20 years old. And she's like, "I voted for you. I was so happy to vote for you." And I think the reason that she was so delighted and just still so excited, weeks after the election, was one thing that I focused on was making sure that our kids had opportunities. Marrying talent with opportunity is something that I ran on. It's something that I've been consistent about. And it's one of those things that it crosses red lines, blue lines. People really want to know, are their kids going to do better than they've done, or at least maintain? And that is the hope that we need to have for the next generation. That is one of the things that, I'm really, really fearful about Lori Chavez-DeRemer going into the administration, talking a whole lot of talk, but not really delivering for our young people.
Well, let's talk about that. She has, of course, been nominated as Trump's labor secretary pick. This from the New York Times. She was one of only a few House Republicans to support major pro-union legislation. She split her district's union endorsements with her Democratic opponent, you, earning nods from ironworkers, firefighters, and local Teamsters. In this conversation about where she stands on labor, what do you want folks to know?
Well, America can't trust Lori Chavez-DeRemer, and I came in beating her not once, not twice, but 3 times. So Oregonians have already told you they don't trust her either. What she will do is promise. She'll talk a big talk, but she can't walk the walk. She will say something in committee, which a lot of Americans don't necessarily understand that process. But she'll say something to appease them. But then when it comes time to vote, when it comes time to put up, when it comes time to stand up for the American people, she's nowhere to be found. I kept asking, are you going to stand by your man? She stood by Trump, and he rewarded a loser. That's what the American people are going to get if she's confirmed, a straight up loser.
There are a lot of folks that Trump has nominated. We can go through the list. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Department of Health, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, National Institutes of Health, Dave Weldon, Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Mehmet Oz, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, Dr. Marty Makary, Food and Drug Administration, Dr. Jeanette Neshwat, Surgeon General. All of these folks in the health space. How do you see your being a check as a member of Congress in the face of a U.S. health system that is likely to come under full frontal assault, not just involving the ACA, but how our kids are vaccinated, how our food is processed, et cetera?
Well, we have to tell the truth about what's happening in America. So, for instance, maternal mortality is a real thing. Kids not being able to access mental health care in our schools. Teachers have talked about that. They've pleaded with us, make sure we have mental health providers all around the country. People have told us that it is important for us to have reproductive care, whether you agree with abortion morally or not. When women have challenges with their health care, they actually need to see a doctor who is not afraid to prescribe the course of action that is necessary to keep them alive. This is what I'm talking about. People ask me, well, how are you going to win against the culture wars? Number one, you win elections. And number two, you provide an honest check with the American people that you're always going to fight and stand up for the values, even in the face of people who will lie straight to your face. I think it's more important for Democrats and for the American people to just play your game. So I tell my kids all the time, you know, they would come home, they're like, the ref was bad, the field was bad, it had divots in it, or, you know, the lighting was bad in the gym. And I'm like, play your game. Stay in the gym, learn the playbook, change the game, be a disruptor in your own right. That's how you fix these clowns. That's how you make sure that the game stays with the American people and that our kids have a better future to look forward to. I'm not playing with these people. I'm simply not.
Well, let's talk about the playbook that they're planning to run in the first 100 days, because we're starting to learn a lot about that. There's going to be a big fight over tax cuts. There's going to be a big fight over their immigration plan. And they're going to be doing it with what is a slimmer majority than they even needed to have, a sort of self-inflicted wound, if you will. Do you see any areas of compromise, and where do you see the opportunity for Democrats to join with Republicans in pushing back against what is an incredibly extreme agenda?
And can you get Republicans to push back?
Can you get some?
You know, a lot of it is looking for where they are in chaos and where you are in lockstep with the American people. As I mentioned before, everybody wants to make sure that our kids are safe at school. That is a common value. So when we talk about mental health and growing the number of providers that we put in schools and supporting teachers, that's a thing that reaches across, you know, the spectrum. Or when we talk about making sure that kids have checkups, we have to grow the number of doctors in this country, making sure that they have a chance to matriculate through school. These are issues that the American people don't have a whole lot of arguments about. So you focus on what you agree on and you let them work through their chaos, because I can tell you, they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea, and they're not primed to deliver. I think when lawmakers are focused on delivering for their constituents rather than delivering for themselves, that's when the American people win. And that's what we're going to do this next congressional session. Wow. We're going to take home wins for the American people.
I am really curious how this tax piece plays out, because the fundamental interest on their part is the corporate piece of this, but they're going to try to sell it to folks as though they're also getting a tax cut.
Yeah, and they're not. I mean, they didn't the last time. You know, I remember talking to a buddy who was all up into the tax cuts the last time, and I asked him, so how much did you get? And he's like, I got $50 a week. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you know that guy over there has got that big building with his name on it. You know, not Trump, but another businessman. Well, he got $100 million. So, you know,
it's
that's
the fleecing of America.
Yeah.
And people shouldn't fall for the okie doke. Like, you should be able to point to the fact that you got, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in your bank account. You can retire, not necessarily on that, but you can retire in peace. You can send your kids to college or trade school, or buy them the car that they need in order to chase their dreams. When you can't show what's in your bank account because the American people have been fleeced, that to me is a tragedy. And that's what we have to start talking about. Put up or shut up. If they're going to put American dollars in American bank accounts of the American people, I want to see that plan. I haven't seen it yet. They're in chaos, they're in dysfunction, and I'm going to hold them to making sure that their promises pan out for the American people.